Yo, what up guys, this is your boy Judai Yuki here, and today people, as you guys can see, we're going to be doing another Manjoume deck profile. This is going to be Manjoume's Ojama Union deck profile, which is just focused on the Ojamas and the Union monsters. There's no armed dragons in here, no dragons at all. Well, there's one, but we'll get into that. But yeah, so it's going to be just a really fun, cool, unique deck that's just focused on summoning the Ojamas in combination with you know, the XYZs and, you know, his other Union monsters. So yeah, it's a pretty cool deck. Let's just get right into it. Of course, we got the three Ojama brothers, Ojama Yellow, Green, and Black. That's obvious. We also have an anime card, Ojama Yellow. This is kind of a funny card. This is summoned with Mecha Ojama. Well, I mean, you don't need to summon it with Mecha Ojamachine, but its effect is when this card is summoned, special summon as many Ojamachine tokens as possible with the same level, type, attribute, attack, and defense and effects as this card. You take no battle damage from battles involving this card. When this card is destroyed, inflict 300 points of damage. It's just a very nice, unique little burn card. It's really funny and gimmicky. It's interesting. I'll get into that a little bit more later. So anyway, next we got the Union monsters. We got V Tiger Jet, W Wing Catapult, X Head Cannon, Y Dragon Head, and Z Metal Tank. These are the Union monsters that are going to work in conjunction with your Ojamas. And Chazz, or Manjoume, actually has a few more Union monsters. If you guys remember in Season 2 during the Society of Light arc, he actually used some new Union monsters that were based upon like these machine bugs. So yeah, we got Beetletron 1 Beetle Top. Yeah, 1700 attack, 1400 defense. We got Beetron 2 Beetle Turbo, 1500 attack, 1800 defense. It basically has the same effect as any other Union monster. You could equip it to Beetle Top 1, and then it gains attack points, and if it would be destroyed by battle, it gets disintegrated. It's the same as the XYZ and VW. They all do the same thing. Beetron 3 Spider Base, once again, same exact thing, 1000 attack, 2000 defense. So yeah, these are the new Union monsters that he used in that arc, and he does have fusion monsters that go with it, just like the VW XYZs and stuff. So it's going to be pretty interesting. So that's the Beetletrons. Next we got Dark Blade and Pitch Dark Dragon, which is also another Union monster. And these two, you know, this equips to that, and then these two also fuse. So that's another little mini set of Unions that he had that, you know, you don't see that often. Next, we are going to be moving forward to, I guess, the rest of the tech cards. We have just one Armed Dragon level 7. That's all you're gonna need. This deck isn't focused on the Armed Dragons at all. This is only in the deck so that you can fusion summon Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. And that's pretty much it. If you don't want to use him, then you could take him out. That's perfectly fine. But if you do want to use him, he's in the deck. You only need one copy of him in the deck because, like I said, you're not going to be summoning the Armed Dragons. And we do have a spell card that will allow us to summon him, because you can't normal summon him in any way or special summon him either. So there is a way. We'll get into that once we get to the spell cards. But yeah, so just one Armed Dragon level 7 is all you're going to need. Then we got Unhappy Maiden, and we got Soul Tiger. Just some defensive cards to add to the deck, and that's pretty much it. The monster count is pretty small. I'm pretty sure, I think this is 17, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's only 17 monsters in this build. The reason why is because of the spell cards. You actually need a lot of spell cards to kind of run this deck this way. You could add more monsters if you want, but there's so many Ojama related cards that I guess you more or less need to add to make this deck work. So yeah, let's just get into the spell cards, and then you'll see why. I'm going to start off with all the Ojama cards first. We got the Ojamagic, searches them out. We got Ojama Delta Hurricane, We got the anime card Ojama Dollar. You guys already know. Pay 1,000, special summon all 3 Ojamas from the graveyard. We got Ojama Ride. This is where the Ojama Union supports come in. Ojama Ride is send 1 Ojama Black, Green, and Yellow from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon up to 3 level 4 lower machine type Union monsters from your deck in face-up defense position. These monsters cannot change their battle position. So this is what you use in order to get your Unions out faster. He has multiple ways of doing this in the deck, but this is how you combine the Ojamas with the Unions. Send the Ojamas to the graveyard, special summon the Union monsters, and that. So yeah, it's a pretty cool and unique card. Surprisingly, Chazz actually had a few, like, well, he had like support with Ojamas and Unions, which is really weird that he did, but that's Chazz for you. We also have the 2 new support cards, Ojama Simulation and Ojama Match. Ojama Match is kind of in there because you need to search out your level 7 if possible. Also, you know, this allows you to send an Ojama card from your hand to the, or face up on the field to the graveyard, add 1 Ojama monster with a different name, and 1 Armed Dragon monster from your deck and or graveyard. So if you send Armed Dragon level 7 to the graveyard, which is what you're going to do in this deck mostly, send level 7 to the graveyard, never have him in your hand, send him with Graceful Charity or whatever other discard cards you have. Don't keep it in your hand because you don't really need it in your hand at all. It just needs to be in your graveyard, and you know, we'll get into that part later, but like I said, this is just to search out your Armed Dragon level 7 and, you know, your other Ojama monsters and stuff like that. So yeah, it's simple. You can still use it in the deck even though you only have 1 Armed Dragon. That's perfectly fine. And then obviously Ojama Simulation pretty much sets up your Union plays too, just like Ojama Ride, but even better than Ojama Ride. But yeah, so that's the Ojama support cards right there. Okay, so now we're going to get into the kind of Union support cards. Obviously, Frontline Base allows you to special summon a Union monster from your hand. Then we got the, you know, Different Dimension Hanger. I'm pretty sure you guys saw this in the last build, maybe. Banish up to 3 level 4 or lower Union monsters from your deck. If you normal summon or special summon a monster written in the card text of any Union monsters banished this way, you can special summon them. Monsters special summon this way cannot attack or be triggered. Basically, you banish your 3 Union you banish Z, Y, and W, and then if you normal summon X and V, you can special summon the other 3 from the banish zone, and then go for, you know, X, Y, Z, V, W, and then combine those 2 together. So it pretty much helps you set up more pieces. So you guys got 3 different ways of how to like set things up. So you guys got Ojama Simulation, Ojama Ride, and Different Dimension Hanger. So you have 3 different ways in this deck of like spamming out your Union monsters on the field as fast as possible. So yeah. And then the final kind of, well, it's not a Union support card, it's more for the Beetle top monsters, which is the quick play spell. No, it's the normal spell card Front Change. It says apply 1 of these effects, tribute 1 Assault Cannon Beetle, which is one of the fusions, we'll get into that, to special summon 1 Combat Scissor Beetle from your fusion deck. It basically just changes the fusion to a different fusion, the stronger version, I guess. And then the second effect, tribute 1 Combat Scissor Beetle, special summon 1 Assault Cannon Beetle from your fusion deck, ignoring the summoning conditions. So it basically, I guess, swaps. You could either swap one for the other or the other for the other one. Yeah, and that's for them. So yeah, next we got the only support card. This is level modulation. This is the only level card you're going to need in the deck because, like I said, no Armed Dragons. This is basically Monster Reborn for Armed Dragon level 7. That's it. That's the only reason why this is in here. Special summon level 7 from your graveyard. This is the only way to summon level 7 in this deck. Yeah, so that's it. That's the only reason why it's in here, and you have to have this in here. If you're going to add level 7 in this specific build, you have to add this card. Otherwise, you will not be able to properly special summon Armed Dragon level 7, which means you will not be able to fusion summon level 7 and VWXYZ to summon, you know, Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. So you need that. That's Monster Reborn only for him, but you need that in there. You just need to properly summon him once in the duel, and then you can summon the Armed Dragon. Yeah. Then we got Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, Polymerization, Premature Burial, Magical Mallet, Giant Trunade, and Lightning Vortex. Those are the generic spell cards that you could add to his deck. And that's pretty much it for the spell cards. Then we will get into the traps real quick. We got Ojama Trio. You could decide that out for something else if you want. I mean, it's up to you. You have more than enough ways to burn and burn in this deck, but it's up to you how you want to run it. Then we got Ojama Marble. Activate only when a face-up Ojama monster is destroyed, and since the graveyard, return that card to the deck, draw 2 cards, and then discard 1. So yeah, can be very helpful. Ojama Pajama, you guys already saw this in the last deck profile. Really good cards, helps you search out your Ojama cards, and helps you defend your Union Fusion monsters and your Armed Dragon monsters. Then we got the Hyper Coat, which you can equip to any VW, XY, and or Z machine type monster against 500 attack, and it is unaffected by spell traps or monster effects. So pretty busted if you can get that on, you know, one like VW, XY, Z. If you can get it on that, you know, he'll gain 500 and he's unaffected by all card effects, which is pretty cool stuff. And then we got Call of the Haunted and the enemy card Direct Border. Neither player can declare direct attack with a monster with 1,000 or less attack. When you take battle damage by a direct attack from a monster with less than 1,000 attack, you draw 1 card. So yeah, it had, you know, I really like that card. It sells for both. It's good defense for him. Anyway, so that's the main deck right there. Obviously the fusion deck, we got Ojama King, we got Ojama Knight. Yes, he does have Ojama Knight. He didn't use it in the show. We didn't see him use it, but he obviously has it. There's no way Jaden had a copy, had an Ojama Knight in his deck. You know, just watch the episode. He took his deck from the beach because Chazz threw his deck away, and then he kind of mixed it in with his E-Heroes. But this is Chazz's card. He just never uses it because he's always summoning the king. He always has the materials for the king. It's his deck. Then we got, we got Dark Blade the Knight, so yeah, because Dark Blade and the Pitch Dark Dragon are in there. And then we got, here are the other fusion monsters, the Beetle ones. We got Assault Cannon Beetle. Sorry for the quality. Anyway, you fuse this with Beetle top 1, 2, and 3. This card cannot be special summoned from the deck except by, banishing the 3 materials from the field, just like any other Union monster. You do not use polymerization. You contribute 1 monster to inflict 800 points of damage to your opponent. It has 2400 attack and 2800 defense. It's just a burn card. In the anime, he used this. He tributed off, I think, Ojama tokens and stuff like that to inflict 800 points of damage. There's a good combination. You could use this and Ojamachine Yellow, summon this, summon Ojamachine Yellow, summon a bunch of tokens, destroy all those. Okay, no, actually that doesn't work that way because the Ojamachines have to be destroyed to inflict 300. Never mind, so cancel that out. But yeah, just there's combos with this card, so just burn your opponent out is all that's about. Then we got Cannon Scissor Beetle. Once again, okay, this card can only be special summoned with Frontline Change though, the quick play spell card. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, sends it to the graveyard and inflict 1,000 points of damage to your opponent. It has 3600 attack and 1800 defense, so it's a pretty powerful attack point monster, but it is kind of hard to bring out. You got to bring out the original one and then use the spell card to summon this guy, and then But yeah, it's just more burn damage. And then obviously we got VW Tiger Jet, we got XYZ Dragon Catapult, XYZ Dragon Cannon, VW XYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon, and then Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon. And there you go. That's pretty much the deck right there. We're going to get real quick into the side deck. The only monster that's in the side deck right now that was important was Mecha Ojama King. This is a really cool, fun, gimmicky card if you want to try this out. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card cannot be special summoned except with Mecha Ojama King transformation, which we'll get into next. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 Ojamachine Yellow, or Ojamachine Green, or Ojamachine Black from your hand or deck. So right now, there's only Ojamachine Yellow. We didn't get to see Black or Green in the anime, so we don't know what they would have done. So we can only run Yellow. I wish they showed Green and Black, so that way we can add it in this deck, and this deck would be even more fun and even better. But yeah, so yeah, that's Ojamachine King. Alright, so we have Mecha Ojama King transformation. Tribute 1 face-up Ojamachine, special summon 1 Mecha Ojamachine from your hand, deck, or graveyard, and if you control face-up Ojamachine, you can add this card from your deck to your hand. Oh boy, I didn't even read the second effect. So this is really cool. Just summon Ojamachine. You don't even have to worry about having this in your hand, because once you have Ojamachine, you could just instantly add this card from your deck to your hand. So that's really cool. And then on top of that, once again, you get to bring out the Mecha Ojamachine. He special summons in Ojama Yellow. You summon the tokens. You run into your opponent with all the tokens, and then they take 300 for each. You take absolutely nothing. So, you know, really fun gimmicky burn combos right there. And it's special summons from the hand, deck, or graveyard. Keep that in mind. So you could send Ojamachine to the graveyard. You can. The Mecha Ojamachine, send it to the graveyard. You don't have to worry about it being in your hand or your deck. It's from hand, deck, or graveyard, so that's really handy. In case if you're wondering, okay, where in this deck does this fit in? How can I add this card in? My suggestion would be to remove Arm Dragon level 7 and level modulation. If you remove these two cards, you could replace it for these two. It's an easy thing. You don't have to mess up the deck in any way. I wouldn't recommend running both of these in the deck, because then the deck will be cloggy, and like I said, you can only summon this card with this card, and you can only summon this card with this card, so there's really kind of no point of running both at the same time. It might ruin the consistency of the deck, so I probably wouldn't do it. But if you guys want to try adding them both in, that's completely up to you. It's kind of hard because the main deck has such important cards in it already that it's kind of hard to take anything out. So if you want to use the Mecha Ojamachine, take level 7 and level modulation out, and that's it, and just add those two, and that's pretty much it. Simple, straightforward. Alright, so moving on, we got Ojama Muscle, Enchanting Fitting Room. We have Ojama Delta Thunder anime card. Activate only if you control face-up Ojama Green, Black, and Yellow. Like usual, your opponent takes 500 points of damage for each card in their hand and on their side of the field. So wow, that's a lot of damage. Then you can send from your hand or deck 1 Ojama Delta Hurricane to the graveyard to destroy all cards your opponent controls. So yeah, it's basically Ojama Delta Hurricane on drugs. It's just on freaking steroids. Just completely annihilate your opponent, burn them out, and destroy everything that they have. Yeah, it's just a more busted version of it. Unfortunately, if you do want that secondary effect, you know, you're gonna also have to run Ojama Delta Hurricane, which can kind of ruin the consistency of the deck at times too. But just you could try to fit it in somehow if you want. We got Shield Attack. It basically switches the equipped monster's attack and defense. That's basically for the Ojamas. Desperado Manager anime card. Activate only if you have 1 or more cards in your hand other than this card. Draw 2 cards and return 3 cards from your hand to the top of your deck. I guess that's also a combo that's similar to Enchanting Fitting Room and whatnot. Well, you could combo that with Enchanting Fitting Room to get your Ojamas out. Then we got Dimensional Destruction Cannon Super Thunder Unit. It's a very long name. They changed the name and made it more short and abbreviated it. Anyway, target 1 VW XYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon in your graveyard. Special summon it and equip it with this card. Negate the equipped monster's effects. When it attacks, it defends this monster and inflicts piercing damage. When this card is removed from the field, banish the equipped monster from play. So it doesn't really provide that much extra. It just makes him. It's a monster reborn for your, V to Z, and it makes it pierce. That's pretty much all it does. It should have done a lot more than that, which is why it's not in the deck. And it negates its effects too, which is stupid. It's like, I don't know. That's just, it's not really worth it because, whatever. Anyway, we got Reload, we got Megamorph, we got Limiter Removal, we got MST, and then we got a Feather of a Phoenix. And then the final anime card, we got Quick Rush, which is a normal spell card. Select and activate one of the following effects. You could either draw 1 card or target 1 face-up level 4 lower monster you control. It can attack this turn regardless of any effects or conditions. So yeah, basically just to draw 1 is mostly what you're going to use it for. Next we got the trap cards. We got Ojama Delta Wear. Special summon 1 Ojama Green, Yellow, and Black from your graveyard that were destroyed by battle this turn. Not the best card because they had to be destroyed that turn. We got Oja Marking. When this set card on the field would be destroyed, will be sent to the graveyard, banish it instead. When a monster you control is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one Ojama monster in your graveyard, and special summon it. Yeah. The continuous spell card Pride Shout. This is for your Ojamas. Again, each time a monster with 0 attack successfully attacks your opponent directly, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's defense. So yeah, if you do that with Ojama King, ooh, that's 3,000 damage. Next we got Rollout. The Grave of Enkindling. Return from a different dimension. You're going to be banishing a Union monster. So if you want to add this in the main deck, maybe replace it for Ojama Trio, you can, because you're going to be banishing them. You're going to be banishing monsters a lot with this deck, whether it's the Ojamas or the Union monsters. You're going to be banishing them, so this is really helpful. You should probably add that in the main deck. I would take out Ojama Trio personally, because you don't really need it. You have more than enough ways of burning in this deck. You don't really need Ojama Trio, in my opinion. And then final anime card, Dramatic Crossroads. Activate only when you take battle damage. Your opponent selects and activates one of these effects. Discard one random card, or your opponent looks at your hand, selects one card in it, and adds it to their hand. So basically, they have to either discard a card from their hand, or we're allowed to take a card from their hand and add it to our hand. And that's it, guys. That is the deck list. That is the Ojama Union deck profile. Strengths and weaknesses, real quick. I guess you could say that its weaknesses would be obviously just getting all the pieces. I feel like that's for most of Chazz's decks, is like, because of how weird everything works, you know, you kind of need all the right combo pieces at the right time to make it work. You know, you need the Ojamas in your hand, or the right combination of Ojama cards in your hand to search out the 3 Ojamas and either summon them on the field or discard them from your hand to summon the Union monsters and do this and that. So like, you need the right combination of cards. So it can be kind of difficult. There are enough draw cards to kind of get through this deck, and then, you know, ways to recycle, to like reload and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just the deck it works perfectly fine on its own, but you know, in order to get all the big combo pieces, you kind of need to, you know, draw through your deck a lot and kind of just, you know, be patient and kind of wait for it. But the deck is powerful. Once it gets going, it's extremely destructive, and it's hard to deal with once it gets going and you have all the right pieces. It's just very difficult to deal with. I can say that much. So that's one of its strengths, is it's very powerful. Once you get all the pieces, like, it's really hard to kind of like not, I guess, die against it. Unfortunately, his deck doesn't have a lot of ways to destroy back row, so you kind of have to deal with that. But this deck has a lot of ways to destroy your opponent's monsters, you know, manipulate battle positions and stuff like that, and a lot of destruction, and you can see a lot of burn. So, you know, even if you can't overpower your opponent, you can certainly burn them out. Yeah. So yeah, this deck is fun. This deck is interesting. I recommend you guys try it out. There's not that many monsters in the deck, like I said, because you need most of the spells to really make this deck run the way it should. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Hope you guys have fun with the deck. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. God bless you guys. Thank you guys for everything. Gotcha!